Okay, class. Today we've been discussing various social movements that are related to the food we eat. People who support these food movements tend to make the claim that they're good for the planet and good for us. But is that really true? So, any thoughts?
Well, for me, the organic food movement is definitely good for us and the environment. I mean, conventional foods are usually grown using chemicals and pesticides, right? And chemicals and pesticides have been shown to cause health problems in humans and animals. So it stands to reason that organic foods, which cannot be grown with the use of pesticides, must be better for us and better for the environment.
But organic food is usually more expensive than non-organic food. So in that respect, it's not better for us. Like, if I end up having financial issues in order to afford organic fruits and vegetables, that's not a good thing, right? And I read a study conducted by the United States Department of Agriculture that showed that more than 40% of produce that is labeled and certified as organic actually has some amount of pesticide on it. So not only does organic food cost more, but close to half of it isn't truly free of pesticides. So as far as I'm concerned, organic food isn't necessarily a better option.
And don't forget that organic food can be grown with pesticides and fertilizers. For food to be classified as organic, it cannot use artificial or processed pesticides, but it can use natural chemicals that kill unwanted pests. We tend to think of natural things as being good for us, but that's not always true. I read a study conducted by a few scientists based in Canada. They compared a synthetic pesticide that is not approved for organic farming with a natural one that is approved. And apparently, the artificial one had a less harmful ecological impact than the natural one. So I'm with Ken on this one. I eat organic food when I can, but I'm skeptical about whether it's always better for us or for the environment.
Some interesting points. Does anyone have any thoughts on the local food movement?
Maybe somebody will disagree with me on this one, too, but I think the locavore movement is a good thing. I mean, a lot of the environmental harm caused by farming comes from shipping produce either from one country to another country or from one region to another region within a country. All of that shipping and distribution causes pollution and waste, which is bad for the planet and, ultimately, bad for us. I think locally produced food tastes better, too, because it can be picked when it is ripe and ready for eating. So, for me, buying food that has been grown or produced locally is a much better option than buying something from far away, even if the local option is a little more expensive.
Sorry, Daniela. I agree with you that locally grown food often tastes great, but in terms of the environment, I think it has some drawbacks. You said that transporting food causes a lot of pollution, but that's not always true. I was doing some reading on this, and apparently it can require less energy to send fruit from one country to another by sea than to send fruit from one region to another by truck. And eating only locally grown food can be pretty boring. Where I grew up, only one type of vegetable is grown. So if I wanted to eat only local food, I'd be eating the same thing every day. That wouldn't be good for me because I wouldn't be getting a variety of nutrients, you know?
Thanks, Daniela and Tina. Any other food movements that anyone thinks are important?
I'd never even heard of it before taking this class, but I'm really interested in the slow food movement. I like the 3 principles of the movement. Food should be good in terms of its quality and effect on our health. Food should be clean in that its production minimizes harm to the environment, and food should be fair in that its price should be fair for consumers, but high enough that producers can make a decent living. I also think fast food is really bad for us and the environment, and I like that the slow food movement was born out of a protest against fast food restaurants.
I agree that the slow food movement sounds good, but I don't really see how it is good for us or good for the planet. I guess I'm not really sure what the slow food movement is. I mean, if somebody says they eat only organic food or locally grown food, it's easy to understand. But if somebody says she believes in the slow food movement, I'm not sure I understand how that affects her life.
For me, slow food includes many of the same ideas as other food movements. So, like you were suggesting, organic food is good because it might have fewer pesticides, right? Well, like I said, one of the principles of the slow food movement is that food should be clean. So, in that respect, the slow food movement is like the organic food movement. And it's similar to the local food movement, too, in that it's about eating food that tastes good.
Does anyone else have an opinion about the slow food movement?